I'm Sam Price-Waldman.
Hey, this is Cresci.
I'm Ben Mullinkosson.
We're Rainhouse Cinema, and this is our film, Osama and Ayman.
I don't know. I'm gonna fart on you.
Osama and Ayman are two skaters I met when I moved to DC, probably in 2011. I moved to DC and I didn't know any skaters, and I just went to Freedom Plaza, and they were the first people I met, and they were instantly welcoming. And yeah, that's how the movie started. Like, they were just guys that I would skate with occasionally.
This was definitely the piece of film that we struggled with the most to cut. We wanted to make sure the intro was like funny but serious, and it kind of set the tone that it was like, hey, like it's okay to laugh.
It was the last thing. The last thing was the first shot. Like, working this first shot took forever.
Yeah, and it's a fart joke. We spent days and days finessing a fart joke.
Yeah, I feel like the final 10% took like longer than the first 90%. We just drag it out.
Yeah, that's the no funding, no timeline kind of a project.
I believe we started shooting right after the election. Do you guys remember?
I think it was after the election. We shot a bunch early 2017, and we just sort of like gathered all this footage, and then we got really busy, and we shot over like a couple stretches, and then we did the interview, and then we began just like the long editing slog. And this is sort of depressing to say, but we were cutting in our free time for like almost a year and a half.
Whoa, there's a cat in the house. Oh my God, what the heck is that?
Yeah, they just left the door open, and this other cat came in.
That was a fun match cut and like an unexpected moment that people laugh.
Yeah, I don't think we thought it was funny, but everyone else did.
Osama and I are brothers. We're born and raised in Huntsville, Alabama. Our parents were born and raised in Egypt. That is it, Bubba? Shay? Okay, 5 minutes.
We started a business, making a little skate company.
Their company right now is huge. I think they have like, I'm going to check right now, but I think like 20,000 followers on Instagram. Like, they get written up. I think there's a write-up in The Fader, and then there was like a couple other write-ups.
Something in Vice too.
Vice did something on them, really?
I think, yeah.
What?
Midnight. And then outside of that, we tried opening an ice cream shop like last year. It was doing good, but it was just very embarrassing because we was like three brown guys with mustaches and beards trying to sell ice cream to kids. Go get your ice cream. People get really surprised, like, oh, wait, you're like in the street skating and you pray? I mean, yeah. What does that have to do with anything? I'm an IT specialist for NASA.
So this is one of my favorite moments in the film, because every time we screen it, I can hear like an audible gasp in the audience. Everyone's like, whoa. And this NASA bit it's like we're holding on to it. And it's like, oh, you think these are just like skater kids. Oh, they're Muslim. Oh, they have this company. Oh, one of them works at NASA.
It's the Webb telescope.
Yeah, I remember this scene happened, and Sam and I were like, what the fuck is going on? Why was Spider-Man there? It's just like a very random day, and we also weren't sure if we like had access to film at NASA.
I had a friend who worked there, so I like hit her up and was like, hey, like, can we get permission? And like waited for a long time to hear back, and then she was like, okay, yeah, you guys can come in, just, go to the front desk and like get a regular visitor badge. So we literally went and we got a visitor badge, and then we were just walking around NASA with an Amira, and like no one looked twice at us.
I go in the field a lot and see a lot of people who aren't really welcoming to people like me. When they see a beard and a brown skin, like, I feel like they already got like little itchy mosquito feeling like on their body. But then when they hear that your name is Osama and they know you're Muslim, like they start like moving away. Like, you don't get the comfort, like they want to talk to you or like hold a conversation or like get to know you.
This is the line that, like, whenever I watch it with like Osama and Ayman, or like if there's a screening and they come to the Q&A, they're like repeating every line and looking at Osama and laughing at him. But it's like the serious line for our movie. On one hand, Osama and Ayman are both really good spokesmen for the Muslim community that skates. And they're really articulate and they're really smart. There's like all these like really amazing characteristics about them. But if you know them really well, you know that they're always just goofing off and making fun of each other and they're always joking. And so I think when their friends see them be serious and say these insightful ideas, it's kind of like, give me a break.
Take the music off. Let me tell you something. Not all religions are peaceful. Not all religions are...
We wanted to make sure we included a little bit of like what these guys were up against. It was interesting to me because in my life in like a major urban area, these kind of sentiments aren't things that you run up into a lot. So I think that was something we wanted to include to give a little bit broader scope than just the stories that Osama and Ayman were talking about.
I wish that you were not in the United States, and you don't deserve to be here either.
I was at a Panera Bread one time. And
It's so funny too, because like I feel like literally every time we screen it, it's one of those moments where like as soon as he said, I was at a Panera Bread, like the whole audience just bursts out laughing, and maybe it's just like some sort of like release from the heaviness of the previous part, but everyone's just like, ha ha ha.
Panera Bread.
It's like, I'm from Alabama. Like, what do you want? Even though it's like your country, you know, you just feel out of place. And like being able to hear like the politics of send them back, like who's them? I'm here, I'm American. And it's just like, not fun to hear. It's just not fun.
I'm not gonna put my...
I remember that we didn't know how we wanted to end the movie. We didn't know what VO line. And so periodically over the course of 6 months, I would go and interview Osama and Ayman again. And I think we interviewed them probably 3 or 4 times trying to get the last bite because we needed it to sound very definitive and very optimistic, but also humorous to represent their personalities. It just wasn't quite working, and then I would ask them questions to try to get them to say it in a certain way, and then video call Sam or Chris, and then we would all ask them on a video call in a like car.
I remember I was moving from DC to LA and I had like a 2-hour conversation with Ayman because I was like, dude, we got to get like these last few things. And I don't think we even used any of them in the cut.
Did the bite come from the original interview?
I think so.
I think we're going in the right direction towards people being open and accepting. I just think we're taking a step back. I'm just gonna let it go as like, let's prove them wrong.
Like, I'm really thankful that those guys let us make this film. They could have easily been like, no, like, we don't want to make a corny documentary. But lo and behold, their corny documentary is now big on the internet.
Big in some niche pockets of the internet.
Yeah. Well put.